I want to start out by thanking everyone for being here on behalf of Alec and Danielle Lowell, Mark and Ogie Lowell, and Sherry and myself, Finelli. Thank you very much for being here from wherever you came. I had a whole bunch of prepared things to say, but as they used to say on Saturday Night Live, things happen. And things happened tonight, and we had a little non-medical emergency with my mother-in-law, Jerry, over there. And it's so nice to be in a room of Jewish professionals. I went over and wait a minute now. I apologize because I do not know your last names, and I know both of you from the past. I went over to see Dr. Bruce first when there was a problem, and Dr. Bruce looked at it and said, no, you need Dr. George. So I went and got Dr. George, and he took care of everything. Now, if my family would have been here, it would have been a couple of cement contractors, a couple of bricklayers, and a carpenter or two, and nothing would have worked. So thank you all for helping out my mother-in-law over there, and she's fine right now. I was talking to Alec today in the room where everybody was sitting, and I said to him, have you ever seen a room full of more beautiful people than this bridal party? And then I look around the whole room, and it's just a whole room of beautiful people. I mean, really, this is an amazing crowd. These kids are all good looking. It's sickening. I really can't stand it. So, I got to get this out of the way to see how much life there is left in these young kids that are getting old. OH! All right, all right. Now, a public service announcement. A public service announcement on behalf of my daughter, Danielle. Jess and a couple other people have come up to me during this the 3-day weekend and said, what are we going to do? We can't call her Finelli anymore. And those people that don't know her way back to high school and college and all the way up until now, she has never been Danielle. She has been Finelli for all this time. I would call up her friends at Ohio State and say, I need to get a hold of Danielle. And they would go, who? And I would go, Danielle Finelli. Oh, you mean Finelli? Okay. So I hear that she's going to change her middle name to Finelli, so you guys can still call her Finelli. But she is proudly a Lowell. Proudly a Lowell. And I heard a rumor that on their first date together, she actually told Alec her name was Danielle, and that sealed the deal right there, because no one really knew who she was. So, Danielle was born on December 23rd of 1990, and that should have been the day I realized that there was nothing this girl couldn't do. There was a Browns game starting at 1 o'clock against the Steelers, and I told the doctors, I've got to see this kickoff. And it was nip and tuck because she was going to be born somewhere between noon and 1. And the doctor said, well, we're going to push for around 12:30. And she made it out at 12:30. I was in the father's room and got to see the kickoff of the Browns game. That was the day I should have realized that she could do anything. She was not really a coordinated child, but she wanted to play baseball. She wanted to play softball, girls softball. So we enrolled her in girls softball, and she wanted to play second base. And the only way she was going to play second base if I was the manager. So she said, Dad, be the manager. So I was the manager, and I had her play second base. And lo and behold, the kid could play second base. She was very good. I had no idea how to manage. That was no problem at all, because in the car from our house up to the field, she had my clipboard, and at 9 or 10 years old, 50 pounds of nothing, she's telling me the batting order and who's going to play where, and that's what I did. I just stood there, and she did everything. She called all the shots. And then she became a dancer. I don't know if any of you have seen her dance, but she can ballet, tap, well, yeah, jazz, anything, hip-hop, anything. We would go to recitals at the end of the year in the spring, and there would be, and I know a lot of parents have done this. I'm not the only one. My wife and I aren't the only ones. But there would be 42 dance numbers And some parents would sneak out in the parking lot and have a beer or whatever they had in their car because their daughter's on in number 2 and then number 22. Our daughter was in 25 of the 40 numbers. I mean, she was in literally everything. So we couldn't leave or we'd miss a dance. And then when she went to college, the one thing that we still remember that my wife talks about every Christmas is Mariah Carey, All I Want for Christmas Is You, because we got to share in her freshman year, Danielle dancing on the tabletops of the O Bar, or whatever the hell it was called. All I Want for Christmas Is You. Now, I went to Ohio State, Danielle went to Ohio State, and that was another thing. She was bound and determined to go to Ohio State, and I wasn't sure she was going to get in because when I went to school there, they held a mirror under my nose, and if they a breath on it, a cloud on it, you got into Ohio State. That was back in 1968. Now you have to have a 3.7 or better to get in, and she got in. Then she wanted to be a Delta Gamma. Okay, a DG. And I don't know, I didn't think if she was going to be a DG or not, and I'm like, don't be disappointed if you're not in the sorority system, you never know. Well, she was going to be a DG, and she was a DG. So that brings us up to now, and Danielle has accomplished everything she ever wanted to accomplish. I mean, she would bid on an apartment in Florida and was concerned that she would get it, she got it. She would bid on a condo in Florida, her and Alec, and they got it. Then they bid on the house, and I said, well, don't be too disappointed if you don't get it. That was stupid, because I knew she'd get it, and she got it. And now here we are today, and they're married. And I'll tell you what, Alec and I have had discussions about Danielle, sometimes in front of her, sometimes not, and we know she has a little bit of a volatile personality. And you have to kind of just roll with it a little bit. And we used to talk about, Alec would ask me, do you ever feel like you're walking on eggshells? And I go, oh yeah, I walk on a lot of eggshells. But for 30 some years I've been walking on eggshells. And so somewhere in here, I think I brought you a few eggshells, Alex, so you can practice walking on it. There you go. You can practice on those for a while. But I whispered into Alec's ear today when we walked down the aisle. I whispered into his ear, and he'll tell you this. I said, I wouldn't have my daughter with anybody else but you. He's the finest man I have ever met, honestly and truly. And I'll tell you this. I've met the whole family, and it's one of the finest families I've ever met. So they're going to have a lot of support, and I know, and what you need when you're young and starting out in marriage. It is a wonderful family. Unfortunately, we're up north for now, but I mean, as we've gotten to know everybody, Dan and Hans and everybody else on both sides of the family. If I'm skipping anybody, I apologize. I'm sure I am, but I mean, it's just a great family, full of love and caring, and they're gonna have a lot of support. And that makes me feel good because I'm not real close. So I know that Alec's going to take care of her, and the family's going to take care of them, which means a lot. So you're wonderful people, the Lowells and the Sperlings, you're wonderful. So there was kind of a degenerate conversation that Mark and I had yesterday about if we could be 25 years old again. I won't tell you the bottom line of it because it really is degenerate. But I was thinking about that afterwards, and I thought, if I could go back to 25 years when she was 6 years old, 5 years old, and then see her as a baby, a young lady, a teenager, a woman, would I do it again? I would love to, except that you can't go back. You have memories, and that's important. It's the old saying is, don't cry because it's over, smile because it happened. And my wife and I are so happy that Danielle's years with us when she was in Cleveland were the best years of our life, and I'm sure there's more to come with these two. So, and Alan, during his service today, was talking about love and what it means to be married. And I wrote this down a while ago. I saw it, and I wrote it down for today, and I probably wrote it down a year ago. Aristotle, all those years ago in Greece, coincidentally where they got engaged, said, love is one soul inhabiting two bodies. And you guys have a soul that I think is going to be incredible. Your life is going to be nothing but amazing. The children you bring in this world are going to be amazing because of all the people around you that are full of love. I wish you nothing but the best of health and the best of luck. And if there's anything that Sherry and I can do to help you in any way, shape, or form, we are here. And I love you both, and I love your family. So thank you.
Oh my God, I thought it was just going to be easy, but I had to follow a lawyer. Wow. All right, so my kids told me earlier today, Dad, listen, Dad, I lost my voice the last couple of days. I promise it's not COVID. I tested, I'm positive. No, I mean I'm negative. One of the few tests I failed in my life. It's good. Okay. So my kids have talked to me earlier today. They said, Dad, listen, we know you're giving a speech. You tend to go on a little bit too long. I said, this party's fucking going until 3 in the morning. I don't give a shit. So we got plenty of time. But again, Dale, that was amazing. That was a beautiful speech. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. What a family. All right, so again, a couple public service announcements out of the way. Number one, my good friend Michael Eisler, happy birthday. You got prize. So I do have some, Dale, I had prepared remarks, but you gave me a couple things I needed to think about. So number one, at 8 or 9 years old, Danielle was 50 pounds. Why haven't you fed her since then? That's what I want to know. She's a good 55 pounds right now. Okay. It's supposed to be funny. I'm sorry. I danced a little bit, I drank a little bit. Let's have some fun. Okay. All right. So before I start my official speech, I am going to read some things here because I don't have a good memory. I do want to start by thanking some people. All right. First of all, I do want to thank every single one of you here tonight. Trust me when I tell you, I do know this has been quite a stressful situation. And I know it was a big ask. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. You know, as stressful as it was for Ogie and I, it has been stressful for you guys as well. And we absolutely appreciate so much you all coming tonight. Everyone here. And we love you dearly, so I want to thank you. I also want to thank Lacey Korn. Lacey, where are you? Get over here. Come here. This little 3-foot nothing, she, as much as you all thanked me, she's the one. She is a master. If you just look around for the last couple of days, what she has done over the last 2.5 years, it's astounding.
I love you. Right. Thank you.
Thank you. It is no easy task. For 2.5 years, we have been working on this, and you can only imagine the infrastructure and the things that have got to go on, and it's just mind-boggling. And without her and her team, this could not happen. Between the pandemic and being in another country and being in a destination wedding that's in another country, it's not an easy task. So she is wonderful. And anybody that ends up using her, we got that commission arrangement set up. Okay, good. I want to thank Dale and Sherry simply for bringing Danielle into this world. And into our lives. I'm going to try and make it. My thought, you've heard me say this before. Anyone that's heard me speak has heard me say this before. My father didn't have, he had 3 sons. He did not have daughters-in-law. He had daughters. And that is exactly how I feel about Danielle and about Leonie. You are not my daughters-in-law, you are my daughters. Love you.
Love you.
And Lily, you as well are like a daughter to me. You are. I love you so much. And by the way, I doubt it, but if there's anybody in this room that does not know yet that my master plan of life has finally come to fruition, Lily was offered a position with a major law firm in South Florida and has accepted it, and all 3 of my kids will be back on February 8th. I timed this speech at about 8 minutes. It's going to end up being about 18, so I apologize in advance. Last but certainly not least, my wife. Ogie, you are not. You are like no human being I have ever known, and easily the hardest worker I have ever seen. The time and effort you have put towards this incredible wedding weekend has been like something out of a military training video. On a normal work day, Ogie will often work throughout the middle of the night. I often call her my vampire, in order to achieve nothing less than perfection. She not only does this for all of her clients, but what she has put into making sure every single detail for Alec and Danielle's wedding perfect is unparalleled. She thought about everything to make sure no stone was left unturned, and this amazing wedding would become truly one to be remembered. Thank you, honey. Thank you for being you. And by the way, this Monday, when we are flying back home, we will be flying back on our 35th wedding anniversary. You are my rock, and you are my inspiration, and you are the matriarch of the Lowell crew, making sure that the wheels of our continuously growing family are always turning in the right direction toward the legacy we want to leave. I love you. All right, so now let's start the speech. So Alec and Danielle, they met at Ohio State. When we first got to meet her in person, we were there for one of Alec's soccer games. But the first time we really knew that she was one of the family was on her first visit to South Florida without Alec for her in-person interview with Insight Global. You remember? Yeah, you did. Oh boy. She stayed with us, and the whole visit just felt like she belonged. The first night at our house in Weston, we all watched TV together. And just like we used to do with all of our kids, we watched Jeopardy. And then she curled up on the couch and she fell asleep in the middle of watching a movie, just like our kids used to do when they lived at home. I also knew she was destined to be a Lowell when she got the job, and I found out it was in sales. At the time, I kind of knew she would be good, but I didn't realize how fucking great she would be until she got started. This little 90-pound, soaking wet, drop-dead gorgeous young lady may have looked like a pushover to some of the people she called on, but when she walked into a client's office, they quickly realized that they were in big fucking trouble. She is a killer. And I say that in the best of ways. She simply does not take no for an answer. And she knows how to bust some balls when she needs to. Now, these also happen to be characteristics she shares with her mother-in-law. And two of the reasons why they are both so damn successful in business. However, as great as they may be for work, they're not so great for Alec and I all the time. If you know what I mean. As only you know, Alec and I work together. And every day when we both arrive in the office, very early in the morning as we do, and we talk about and spend about 15 minutes a day talking together about our lives and the things going on in them before starting our work day. And what I've learned from these many conversations has ultimately helped me to confirm that Alec was marrying his mother. And I also say that in the best of ways. I know it's an old cliche that your children often look for the traits in their spouse like that of their parents. And I will tell you, based on Alec's stories, it is completely true. Let me put it this way. Olgie and Danielle are two of the most passionate people I have ever known, both in love, during discussions, when everyone is in agreement, and when they disagree. It is that type of passion that makes life so damn interesting, so damn compelling, and so unforgettable, but most importantly, unbreakable. Danielle, we love you. We love you so much, and we cannot wait. We cannot wait until you guys bring us more beautiful grandchildren like Benny. Shit. And as I've told you honestly and demanded of you, please start working on that shit tonight. I heard you're not going to sleep. Alec, raising you has been one of the pure joys of our life. We got to watch you grow into both an incredible athlete and person. When you were in your later years of college and you told me that you wanted to major in finance and you wanted to come work with me and you wanted to know what I thought, I told you I thought you would be great. But I also told you that I ain't paying you a salary. And you'll have to bust your ass and build a practice with your own clients just like I did. I told you it was extremely difficult in the beginning, but if you stick to it, I have no doubt you would be successful. And your response was, and I quote, "I don't give a shit, I don't care, and I'll do whatever it takes." Fast forward 7 years, and you have done more than any person I know with only 7 years in this profession. You've become a certified financial planner and have built a reputation in South Florida business community that has become recognized publicly by both your professional peers and all of your clients. It is difficult, and many of you know, it is difficult. Can't fucking see. Boy. It is difficult for me to put into words, and probably many of us here today, how as your dad it feels to have to watch you grow and succeed, and to watch you grow and succeed. However, until you, Brent and Lily, get to experience it for yourselves, you will have to trust us when we tell you it is the most amazing feeling as a parent can experience. We are so proud of the three of you for what you've all accomplished, both in life and in your careers. And Mom and I love you all more than life itself. Now, as much as we can't wait to have a home full of kids and grandkids and family together, and the mitzvahs and special events, we want you both to know it's even more exciting to pay close attention, like Dale had mentioned, to your journey on the way to getting there. This weekend is a perfect example of one of your life's most epic moments in this journey. Absorb it, relish it, and remember it, because in a blink of an eye, it will be in life's rearview mirror. Let's all raise a glass and toast this amazing couple. Alec and Danielle, everyone here wants all of your dreams to come true, and we are all here to celebrate your union and look forward to watching as loving bystanders as you move through life and all of the beautiful nachas and not so beautiful tzuras that life always brings. Mom and I will always be here for you both, for whatever you need, and as parents we will love you dearly and unconditionally for the rest of our lives. L'chaim.
Thank you.
That was beautiful. Thank you.
All right, so good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Brent. I'm Alec's older brother, and I'm honored to be serving as his best man tonight. When Alec asked me to be his best man, I was a little nervous, to say the least. As the people sitting in the front row can attest, you can smell fear. Public speaking is definitely not my strongest attribute. So I'm going to do my best to make this as painless as possible for everybody. For those who don't know much about Alec and I's relationship, let me fill you in a little bit. I'm the older guy, which means I've been around for basically his entire life. I was there for countless soccer matches, including the ones we had in our backyard. I've also Hanukkah parties with Barney the dinosaur, Kippah included. And as teenagers, parties that we threw at our house that we promised our parents we were never actually having. Dad, if you ever thought the liquor bar was ever watered down at some point, you were right. I've had the privilege of watching Alec grow into the best man I know aside from my own father, aside from our own father. I like to think that I've impacted his life somehow, but really he's impacted mine so much. They say the older sibling is meant to set the example. But I truly look up to you, Alec. Whether it's your golf game, sometimes. I'll send you a copy of the speech afterwards. Whether it's your golf game sometimes, or how you always make family your #1 priority, I am so proud of the man that you have become. And now Danielle. There you are. Hi, Danielle. Although today you are officially married to my brother, I feel like you've been a part of this family way, way before that. For the past 9 years that I've known you. So I'm glad it's finally official. As those amongst you know Danielle well enough, she is a wonderful and a beautiful and caring person and will fit right into this chaotic family. She absolutely deserves a good husband, and I know that person is my brother. So, I don't have one, but let's raise our glasses. This is to Danielle and Alec. They say you don't marry the person you can live with. Oh, yeah, I'll start that again. They say you... Let's raise our glasses. They say you don't marry the person you can live with. You marry the person you cannot live without. Cheers to the happy couple.
Don't know me, and if you don't know me, you're likely crashing this wedding, but we don't discriminate, so welcome. Hi, I'm Lily Lowell. Can you hear me? For the old people in the back, can you hear me? Okay, so I'm gonna walk around because my dad did mention in his speech, but all of you probably know I'm a lawyer and I like to walk in the well a little bit. And you know, I speak with my hands and shit like that. And I curse, so sorry. So, this is gonna be a bit of an interactive speech. I want everyone to close their eyes, think about the first time they met Danielle Finelli. And Danielle, this doesn't apply to you, so I'm not sure what you're gonna do in this moment, but just shut your eyes and maybe take a shot or something. So maybe raise your hand when you're done. Close your eyes, think about it for a second, raise your hand when you're done so I can continue on with my speech. Okay. I see some giggles in the room. Hee hee. Okay, well, the reason I want you to do that is because I need to describe the first time that I met Danielle. And Danielle thinks that this is the first time that I met her, but this is the first time that I found out about Danielle, which was the true test of time. So, to understand Danielle and I's dynamic is to understand how Alec and I work. And Alec and I are a few years apart. We are very close with one another. We are very, to put it simple, we watched High School Musical together, and we used to do the bows back. You know, you all know the dance move. Can't forget it. We love doing that. Alec, if he's lying to you that he doesn't like High School Musical, he does. And so, we have a family group chat, and Alec, I had heard about Danielle through my parents. He had kind of like put some feelers out. And then we get a picture to the family group chat. And I see that it's of another girl that isn't me. So I'm like, okay, put on my best Simon Cowell impression. I am ready to be Judgy McJudge. Because this picture comes through and I'm like, who is this hoe, for lack of a better word? And so, this is, she doesn't know this, but this is my first impression of the picture. I start from the top, as anyone does, and I see, and oh, I have to preface this by the fact that this was 2013, so, you know, kissy faces, peace signs were very on trend at the moment. Woo! And the first thing I notice about the photo is she's making a peace sign with a kiss. It's like this. I'm like, oh, okay, she's on trend, like, I'm cracking my neck, I'm like, okay, not bad, check. I start panning a little bit down the photo, and she's wearing a Heat jersey. I'm like, we love a sporty girl, like, absolutely, and it's Miami. Yes, thank you. And then the real kicker was when I got to the bottom of the photo, and she was wearing no pants. And I knew she was a Lowell, and I said, you're coming home with me. So from that moment I knew she was my sister. Despite the fact that we were already sisters, she was the one who told me to go Delta Gamma for all you DGs in the room, throw a Gamma. I love you. And I could really sit here and tell you that, you know, we became best friends and it was love at first sight, but I'm standing up here and I'm the maid of honor, so no shit, it worked out. Instead, I'm going to tell you some of my favorite qualities about Danielle. And the first one is that this girl is loyal as they come. She is ride or die, and we take that phrase as literal as possible. So I'm going to give you a bit of an anecdote. Danielle and I, well, if you know the Lowells, we love to ski. So the first time she comes skiing with my family, I'm laughing already, she comes skiing with my family, and Alec is super giddy though, and he's like, Lily, I know you snowboard, but like, you gotta get on some skis because she's not going to ski school alone. I was like, okay, I love her, sure. So Danielle and I, obviously she's in an Olgie Lowell fit, head to toe, Gucci, Poochie, Prada, who the hell knows what she was wearing, she was styling. And meanwhile, I was there and you couldn't tell if I was Alec or Brent Lowell because they always put me in the hand-me-downs and wouldn't buy me new ski clothes. So we go to ski class, and this was the motliest crew you've ever seen. It was Danielle, fabulous as ever, me, ghetto as ever, and everyone else there definitely had an AARP card. So we get up, the first run is a bunny slope. We're like, yes, let's get up. You get on that little magic carpet. You're like, I got this. And we start going down, and we're going left, right. We're pizzaing, French fries, pizza, French fries. We are killing it. We are athletes up there, and everyone else is just like behind the pack. So I look at Danielle and I say, Danielle, we must leave. We must go. I know this mountain. My dad will teach us. It's gonna be fine. She's like, right, again, to my point, loyal. She listens to you. She's like, okay, I trust you. Big mistake. So we get on the lift. Mind you, this girl's never been on a ski lift in her life. So I'm throwing her ass on the lift. We are like, poles are flying left and right. We finally get to the top of the mountain. We start going down, and Alec is taking care of Danielle, and my parents, but without a choice, had to take care of me. But my dad has always said, and my parents have always said, a true testament of a relationship is if you can ski together. So Alec and Danielle are going down this mountain. He's strapping off his boots. He's climbing up the mountain. He's taking Danielle's poles. He's carrying her on his back. He'll do anything he has to do. She's fine. She's unscathed on the mountain. Me, on the other hand, I'm down there. Poles flying left, poles flying right. Soon enough, the shoulder goes out, and I get carried down by ski patrol. So to that point, she was ride or literal die. And she rode, and I died. So, again, I'm very off the cuff here, people. I'm a lawyer. But one of the other qualities I admire about Danielle is how caring she is. And the first time we actually met in person, this girl was devoted to the drink. And if you know her, Finelli loves her shots. That is her party trick. Work hard and play hard. So I was home from college, and we go to Beach Place. All you Fort Lauderdale people, give me a shout. And we go to Fat Tuesdays. And as the very law-abiding citizen that I am, I gave them my fake ID, which was subsequently taken away. And Alec and Danielle were outraged. They were like, this is unacceptable. They were determined to get this back. She cared so much about me and how committed I was to making sure I got my Fat Tuesday drink and got up there, and she demanded it back. And obviously, as my dad mentioned, this girl gets what she wants. And she did. Okay, so Danielle and I are honestly best friends. We have been, since we met. I kind of feel bad for Alec. It's a bit of a Three Musketeers situation, but it's really two. And everyone keeps, when she asked me to be her maid of honor, everyone kept asking me, this is super nice, that, everyone was shocked. Not shocked, but they were like, this is super nice. And I was like, I agree, but also we're best friends. And I guess I came to realize through this whole process, this 2.5-year process that I'm really excited to be over with, that the relationship we have is not norm. And I'm really lucky. I have 2 sister-in-laws that are like sisters, and my dad said it best, like, these aren't my in-laws, they're my blood. And I couldn't have imagined someone better to marry my brother, because again, Judgy McJudge over here was ready to hate her, and I just couldn't, because this is my ride or die. This is my caring, loyal girl that since the moment I saw a photo of her in her Miami Heat t-shirt and no pants, I knew that she was one of my own. So, Danielle, Alec, I love you guys. I will always dance to High School Musical with you. I will always watch Real Housewives with you. I will always watch Darcy and Stacey with you, and any trash TV that you so desire. And whenever you need to laugh, just give me a giggle, and I can't wait to move down to South Florida and be with you all the time. So. On the same breath, I will say thank you all for coming out here. This is no easy trek. Although I wish that I got stuck here in Colombia and I didn't have to go back to the United States. Everyone here in this room is negative, so cheers to that. Cheers to Dr. Fauci and science.